Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending our session today. And thank you for making time on a Sunday to join us in our club meeting. And today, our coach will be Apolline. And since it's currently 8:35 or a little bit past that, we'll now get started with the lesson. But as usual, before we start, can everyone just turn your cameras so we can take a quick group photo and then we can start right away? Yeah. Please turn your cameras if you can. We'll wait for a bit. Can anyone else turn on your cameras? Okay. I'll just take a photo now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep, thank you. And Apolline, you can start.
Okay, great. Can everyone hear me? Okay. So basically today what we're gonna do is I assume most of you guys are already familiar with debate, or most of you have already attended these the Nationwide Debate Club. Can you raise your hand if this is your first time in this class? Okay. So yeah, just raise your hand just so I have an idea. Okay, so quite a few people, but most of you are already familiar. So raise your hand if you were here last class. So that was a while ago. That was a few weeks ago. Just raise your hand again if you were here last class. Okay, so I see quite a few hands. That's great. So what I'm gonna do right now is raise your hand one more time. If you're new to public forum debate. Okay, so that is quite a lot of you. So I guess I'm just going to explain what public forum debate is before we get started with the lesson, just for the new debaters. So essentially what public forum debate is and what this nationwide debate club is about is a specific style of debate, which is public forum debate. And in public forum debate, raise your hand if you know or you debated in WSDC. Just raise your hand. Okay, so quite a lot of you have also participated and debated in WSDC. But essentially, public forum debate is when you have two teams of two people debating a resolution or a topic for, it lasts roughly 40 minutes. And you have essentially 4 main speeches. So you have the constructive speech, which lasts 4 minutes, presented by the first debater of both sides. And then you have a crossfire, and those crossfire, you ask questions to the other team and they answer. And then after that, you have rebuttal speech, which is where you respond to your opponent's arguments. And then after that, you have the summary. You summarize the round. And then also you address the main clashes and you start weighing. And then final focus, this lasts 2 minutes. Oh, you have other crossfires, and then the final focus is where the second speaker of both teams essentially try to convince the judge why the judge should ultimately vote for them. And here you weigh your impacts, you weigh your arguments, and also you compare the clashes. So you also collapse on arguments if needed. So that is just a very brief overview of what public forum debate is for those of you who are new. And now we're going to get started with the lesson. Okay, great. So what we're going to be doing today is I was planning for us to continue the activity that we started last class, but we didn't have the opportunity to finish, just because people were at different stages in the breakout rooms. But essentially what we're going to be doing today is we're going to start with final focus speeches. Raise your hand if you participated in any debate tournament recently. Yesterday, our school hosted a nationwide debate tournament? Okay, I see a few hands. Because our school hosted a nationwide debate tournament with over 16 schools from around the country. So yeah, I see a few hands raised, which is great. Raise your hand if you participate in the SSIS Fall Invitational. Raise your hand down if you haven't yet. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started with the lesson. So first, do you guys know what final focus speech is? So final focus speech, for those of you who are new, as a reminder, this is the last speech of a public forum debate round. So you only have 2 minutes in the speech, so that's a really short time. So this is a specific strategy or technique to convince the judge to vote for your side, and I find it really effective and very clear for the judge. So first, you want to crystallize a round with clear clashes. So for those of you in WSDC round, this would be also like a third reply speech or something like that. And you have the clear clashes in the round. So what matters in the round? What this round ultimately comes down to, you weigh your arguments. So you weigh the impacts, and there are different types of weighing. You weigh on magnitude, scope, probability, solvency. For those of you who are new, these are different types of ways you can weigh your arguments. And then you compare the key clashes. So the key clashes could be like for example, like the main contentions, so the main arguments from both sides, and like you kind of weigh them together. And then you can also weigh the clashes, why you would win on one clash and why that matters more than another clash. So that's really clear for the judge, because at the end of the day, when they give you the feedback, they tell you, whenever I debated in tournaments, a lot of the judges were like, you lost on this clash, you won on this clash, pro was able to win on this clash. So they really outline the clashes. So that's how judges determine the round. There are other factors that play a role, but this is really important. And you also need one clean response to the opponent's key argument. Judges love it when it's very clear, very easy to follow. So if you say their only response to this was, and then you refute that, you frontline your arguments, and you attack your opponent's cases. And another thing that plays a huge role in the speech is attacking your opponent's cases. Throughout the round, their only response to this was, or they failed to drop this was, and then a clear extension of your winning path. So you can use rhetorics. So rhetorics is, in their world, you're looking at increased poverty, a decreased economy, a recession, millions of lives impacted. In our world, we solve for that, and you're only going to be able to solve for that if you vote for our side, and then you give the reasons why. So you do like an our world, their world comparison, very similar to WSDC. Okay, so I know that many of you really want to see how that looks like in real life. So this was one of my final focus speeches for the resolution resolved the United Kingdom should rejoin the EU. So for those of you who have been already researching this topic, it's essentially discussing Brexit, but why the consequences of Brexit and why the UK should rejoin the EU in the status quo. So I'm on pro, so I'm saying that UK should win the EU. And this ultimately depends on your round. You can't pre-write a final focus like you can pre-write rebuttals, but you have to write your final focus on the spot. So this was the final focus of one of my early rounds. So it's 2 minutes. So I'm going to put a 2-minute timer, and feel free to record this or take notes. But I'm going to demo one of my final focus speeches. Judge, let's address the main clashes of this debate. First, on the economy. There are many arguments that the central banking system affects the UK economy's sovereignty, but fundamentally weigh us on the long term because the single market provides trillions of dollars over 0.0% of GDP growth provided by those feeble trade deals. On the reset deals, they don't even tell you how much economic growth actually happened. They don't even name a single market deal that was successful regarding the UK. Even then, we would tell you what matters most is the lives of people. They were unable to respond to the fact that these trade deals are facilitated through billions of dollars of taxpayer money, which directly affects middle income earners. They don't solve for this. They try to tell you that it would take 10 years to rejoin the EU, but fundamentally we outweigh on time frame because it would take even 15 years just to reap the economic benefits of these trade deals. Go to agriculture. Throughout the run, they tell you that the lack of European subsidies of leaving the EU resulted in detrimental harms on farmers in the UK. But they tell you that agriculture would improve upon rejoining the EU, but we would tell you that it's even more affected by the lack of subsidies from the EU. Therefore, the only way you're going to solve for this is by rejoining. On national crime, they try to tell you that NATO solves, but they never refuted my partner's response that NATO only helps with defense. They won't have access to the Schengen intelligence system, which saves millions of lives. On to sovereignty, they never responded to the argument that rejoining would improve sovereignty by giving a seat at the table and making decisive decisions. The UK still has to abide by EU regulations in both worlds. We would solve for that by rejoining the EU. Furthermore, we tell you that we outweigh on democracy, but because we would tell you that it goes against the very will of the people if you don't rejoin the EU. Now, on to weighing. They completely dropped the weighing, therefore we win on this. The most important weighing mechanism in this round is probability. They can't give you these flashy impacts, and they don't matter if they won't happen. We're already seeing economic decline happen in the status quo, which is what they completely ignored throughout the round. They haven't shown you how their trade deals have shown any economic growth. Don't vote for them on this alone. Even then, we would tell you that it takes at least 15 years just to reach minimal economic growth. You're also voting us for on time frame because we would tell you it takes 15 years just to reach the economic impacts, which goes completely unresponded to. And we would tell you, Judge, lives are currently at stake. The only way you're solving for human lives is by rejoining the EU, is by having access to the Schengen database system, which is why we're so proud to affirm. Okay, so that is one way. That was one of my final focus speeches. Can you guys hear that?
Yes, can I read my final focus too, because I have my own preparation too. Maybe it's similar to you because I support the idea that the UK should rejoin the EU. So the opinion is similar. Can I read my final focus?
Oh yeah, sure, but you can read in your breakout rooms later. We're gonna break into breakout rooms, and you're gonna work on those final focus speeches in the breakout rooms. This was just an example for everyone to see, but you can present your final focus speech in the breakout rooms. Thank you for willing to share that screen. Okay, so what did you guys notice? This was not my best final focus speech. It's really rough. It really depends on the round. But what I took note of was the key clashes. So I compared the key clashes, and then I told you why our side wins on those clashes. And I did a little bit of weighing, like I mostly focused on probability and time frame. In a debate round, it's better for you to only use 2 weighing mechanisms than use a bunch of weighing mechanisms. Because if you only focus on 2 weighing mechanisms, then that has much more quality and substance than if you use a bunch of weighing mechanisms. Okay, does anyone else have anything to say? No? Okay, we need more engagement, everyone. It's all right. Let's move on. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna watch an example debate. So a debate is very long, which is why, okay, I see a few of, oh, thank you, nice rhetoric. Yeah, rhetoric is also very important. You wanna compare the worlds always in a debate. That's really effective. So let us watch an example debate. This was an example debate of finalists in TOC, a very prestigious debate tournament in America. And we're only going to watch the summary and the final focus. And then we're going to debrief and reflect on what we learned from this round. So these are some questions that you you can think of as you watch the round. Take notes as you watch the round. And also, after that, you can either unmute yourself and we can reflect on it, or you can also type messages in the chat or type your reflections and observations in the chat. Okay, let us watch this. Okay, please let me know if you cannot see my screen or if you cannot hear. So I think let's go here. So this is a summary speech. And also, this could be a very confusing resolution, but don't focus on the content in itself. Don't try to understand what he says. If you do, that's great. But just try to see how he addresses the opponent's arguments and how he's able to win over them.
The order is just going to be, it's going to be the affirmative. I'll do some weighing, and then I'll move to the negative. Can you highlight which link you want me to read? Okay. Go to our case. While Ukraine might appear to project a collective Western pact, the McTague evidence from case from just weeks ago analyzes the broader trend. Countries like Russia and China are fighting back against the stagnant liberal world order that can no longer maintain its current trajectory. The loss of US leadership would be detrimental, as our Barnett evidence concludes that the American hegemony has led to a 99% decrease in deaths worldwide, saving billions of lives. Fortunately, revising Article 9 to obtain military spending capabilities is the only way to strike back against growing revisionist powers. Specifically on our argument about untangling Uncle Sam, we tell you a prime Japan could allow America to redistribute its forces from one of our largest commitments. Thus, a study from Columbia University this year found that affirming would allow the US to maintain stability in the region. They give you a couple responses. First, they make two responses on Uncle Sam. They tell you the budget is still stretched, but they completely misunderstand the argument. Even if the budget is stretched, they can see the Columbia University evidence, which indicates that we would be able to defend more allies by letting Japan defend themselves, ensuring American power. Second, they say that the US can spend infinitely. Firstly, let's just think about this. That's not a good idea. But secondly, they can see the Democrats in Congress block spending, which means they can't spend indefinitely, while China can because they are authoritarianism. That is why we need more countries like Japan to militarize so we can hedge against Chinese power. Then they give you one response on the Ukraine invasion. They tell you right now, credibility is increasing. Even though it seems that maybe we're shoring up against China, China perceives us as weak. That's the response in the analysis they concede. If China thinks, China does, and China thinks us as weak. Then they give this example about Taiwan. It's not about Taiwan specifically. It's about the global world order that we must protect. On our way, understand this argument is much more important because we aren't just focusing on one region like our opponents. We are saying American hegemony, what has quite literally held the world together for the last decade twice over, is starting to collapse. It's on the decline. If we were to let that go, not only would you have one war maybe in Taiwan or maybe by Japan, but you would have it everywhere because US credibility would essentially, it would go down. But then on their case, they give you one response and they tell you right now that allies are going to get scared. Understand, it doesn't matter if allies get scared in the short term. That's not long-term thinking. After Saigon, everyone thought US credibility was going to be destroyed, but then we built a military base in South Korea and we fixed it. Also, Japanese militarization complements the US present. Reinhard 16 writes that Japan's military assets complement US forces, and missions like anti-submarines operations essentially represent that. On modeling, though, remember, this is not reverse causal. You can't just say because they put one thing down in World War II that peace is going to just get destroyed because 70% of it went down. You can't just make that assumption. But more than that, countries don't just operate on perception. And again, we tell you there's not going to be aggression in the region. They can see that. We tell you Japan's not going to be aggressive. At the end of the day, you know that our argument is more important because it spans the entire world. For all these reasons, please affirm.
Okay, so what are some initial notes and observations disregarding the content, just the way he speaks, the way he structures his arguments? Yes?
I have a question, and I want to ask you. Is it okay?
Is it okay? For what?
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah. So this is the first time I have watched a debate, and so I see people speak fast. So is speaking fast important in debate?
Okay. Yeah, that's a very important question. So in this style specifically, when you reach very advanced levels, people have a lot of information to share, and the only way you can do that is if you speak faster. But it really depends on the judge that is judging you, because for some judges they prefer you to speak clearer and a much slower pace, like a TED Talk speed. So it really depends on the judge, but overall, it's better if you speak slowly and clear so the judge can hear you. But at this level, a lot of debaters speak faster. And yeah,
Oh, I can understand what you are saying, but in a debate, I didn't understand because you speak fast, and especially in this video, I didn't understand anything because he speak really fast that I couldn't catch the word. So is it okay when people speak louder in debate?
yeah. So that's the thing. For some judges, newer judges, they do not understand faster speeds. So a lot of new judges cannot understand faster speeds, which is why it's up to the debater's discretion to adapt their speaking style in proportion and function with a judge. So newer people that are new to debate, they don't understand faster speeds. You would actually say that his debate speech is actually much slower compared to other debaters, but it is important that the debater adapts itself to the judge. If the judge cannot understand fast speeches, then it's at a disadvantage for the debater if he speaks fast. So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for asking.
Already pulling out.
Japan go, develop their own military, and then spend on other countries when they need it most.
Okay,
That
so
is what signals credibility.
Crossfire.
But that's happening now. Like, sure, you're painting this picture that says the US is the only actor in the region.
Let's watch let's watch the final focus speeches.
Change this and make it seem like you need to affirm.
That affirming would allow the US to maintain the stability of regions around the world. They only have one response at the end of today's debate. They just tell you that we're freeing up resources elsewhere. It's not just about the resources. It's about the signal we send to American allies. Letting go of Japan's hand and also being able to commit to other places proves that the US will not be overstretched. And remember, it's all about the perception of our enemies. Even if our allies feel reassured, the ability to deter them rests on the US ability to spend elsewhere. By freeing up the resources we spend on Japan, we also can combat China and Russia. Even if they have collective defense right now, they don't have.
So now he's speaking a little faster, but it's also something to work on. I know it's something you have to really get used to for a lot of debaters. If you're judging, it's really hard to flow around if the debater is speaking really fast. So yeah, that's a huge disadvantage for the debater. But here the judges are technical, so they can understand faster speeds.
Offensive military capabilities, revising Article 9 does something, and that something is protect world peace. Now, if we win our argument, we should win today's debate because they only focused on the East Asian region, whereas we affect places all around the globe. That is conceded. Even more so, they say there's been a 70% drop in deaths due to war. Remember, that does not mean that if you vote F, there's a 70% increase in deaths. This is not what the resolution is fundamentally asking. Realize that there are arguments suffer from correlation and not causation. Although East Asia and Article 9 created a peaceful model for development, that does not mean that reversing Article 9 suddenly reverses that. Instead, that model will still persist.
exist. In spite of nationalism and in spite of these concerns, that model does not go away insofar as Japan has not been aggressive. And remember, Japan, as we have agreed, will apologize for their wartime atrocities, which solves back for their arguments. Our arguments are more important, and theirs are a shot in the dark. Thank you, and please vote aye.
Okay, so that's the end of the round. I know that these speeches were very fast to understand, but I hope that it just kind of gives you a gist of how really high level debate looks like. So would anyone like to share, for those of you who were able to understand the rounds, what you learned from their style of speaking or how they structure their arguments? Yes.
Also, is body language important in debate?
I think I would say, yeah, it is pretty important. It also depends on the judge. If some judges prefer you use your hands a lot, if it helps you convey your ideas easier, then it's also important.
And so, when people speak fast in debate, how can they have more ideas to talk about? Because I have to think a minute to give an idea, and when they speak fast, they have to give numerous ideas, explanations, and examples for the ideas. So how can they do it when they speak fast?
Well, they're trained debaters, so they're very used to it. And the second thing I would say is that most of it is research they already did. So you can read a script that you're reading, and you already have set amount of things that you want to say during the round, which is why when you speak fast, you're already reading off of something that you researched already. So you should be already familiar with the topic, and you should have a lot of ideas to respond to in the first place. Okay, great questions.
Okay, so in debate, people give their out opinion or opinions of others.
In public forum debate, you have to weigh both. You have to give, it's not opinions, it's the arguments for both sides. So you have to weigh the arguments for both sides.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Great questions. Okay, did anyone else have anything else to say? Yes, Minlan.
Can I ask you, usually in WSEC, you will need more than one line rebuttals. I think that in PF with summary and final voltages, I think that they don't have much time. So how would the best way to rebut be? What would it look like?
I'm sorry, I only heard a little bit of what you said. What was your question again?
I'm so sorry. Um, Usually in WSEC, then you only have like you do have lots of time, so you can have like two liners for your rebuttals. But in PF, the summary and the final focuses, I don't think they have much time. So what would be the best way to rebut?
Oh, yes. So in public forum debate, it's much more about concision since you have less time. It's more about like what arguments you prioritize. So in PF debate, it's a lot of like prioritization of arguments, like what this debate comes down to, and crystallization of arguments. And at really high levels of debate, they tend to speak faster because they want to pinpoint all those arguments. So it's a lot about time management, and it's something I need to work on as a debater because I tend to go over time. I don't make my ideas concise, but you need to find a way to deliver your ideas in a very concise and a very clear manner for the judge. Yes, definitely. That's something I learned in a few debate tournaments. My partner and we were speaking quite fast, and the judge couldn't really catch what we were saying, and that came to our disadvantage. Huang Lin?
Okay, so I think I learned a new tip just after the video, so I want to see if the tip is good. When I listen to the two debaters talking,
and debating, of course. I noticed how they speak really fast, but they
Mhm.
also slow down and emphasizes the main point or their main stand. Like it's really good to balance it out so that like inexperienced listeners could listen and hear the stance at least a bit. So yeah, I think it's really good for time management. The pacing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's also like one persuasive technique is you slow down for the most important parts so the judge can really hear those ideas. Great catch. I'm just reading the comments right now, and I definitely agree with some of the comments. Yeah. Okay. Making pre-clashes. So now what we're gonna do is we have a demo round. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select maybe 2 to 4 people to debate. Raise your hand if you want to volunteer. This is very simple, no pressure at all. It's a very short debate. Okay, so I already see one volunteer, great. And it's 1 minute for each of those speeches. So 1 minute constructive speech, 1 minute crossfire, 1 minute rebuttal speech for both sides, 1 minute crossfire, 1 minute summary, 1 minute grand crossfire, and 1 minute final focus. Okay.
Yes, my preparation is ready.
Okay, so given that this is a very short debate round, this is going to be an improvised debate round. So if you want to improve your spontaneous thinking, if you want to improve your spontaneous and improvised debate, then this is a great opportunity for you. Okay, so who do we have for volunteers? So we have Min Le. Min Le, you will be on the neg. And then we also have Olivia. Olivia, you will be on the app. And then we have Days, Tu, you will be on the neg with Min. And then we have Zero. You will be on the app with Olivia. Okay, we have our 4 debaters. Okay, great. So now it's time to reveal the resolution. So I'm still looking at a few examples, but I think okay, give me a second. I'm still looking at the Okay, let's talk about something that relates to all of us right now. The benefits of online learning outweigh the drawbacks. Something quite simple. And I will give you guys 5 minutes to prepare. And then after 5 minutes, we'll go straight into the round. How does that sound?
What is the motion?
Okay, I'll put in the chat. The resolution is, the benefits of online learning outweigh the drawbacks. Okay, Olivia, you will be first speaker. And Days, you will be second speaker. Minle, you will be second speaker, and Zero, you will be first speaker on the neg. Okay, 5 minutes starting now. For the rest of you who are watching, please practice flowing the debate. So take notes, and then we can give constructive feedback at the end of the debate round. But meanwhile, just take this time to gather your notes. And at the end of 5 minutes, we will watch the round. If you really want to sleep, I know it's late on a Sunday night, you can go. You don't have to stay. But we would appreciate if you stay to watch the debate round, because 4 people are kindly volunteering to debate in front of everyone. Debaters, you have 1 minute left. Okay, it is time. Let's start the debate now. Okay, so first things first, on the app side, Olivia, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
Madam
1 minute. Time
Chair.
starts
Okay, so can I share my screen now?
Your screen? No, just present your speech now.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges and respect opponents, today I study affirmation of the solutions. The benefits of online learning outweigh the drawbacks. Overall, online education offers as much as flexibility. Students can access core materials or anywhere and anytime with online education, unlike traditional classroom settings. For non-traditional students, those who are employed, have children, or reside in the remote locations, this flexibility is extremely advantageous. Their, their ability to adjust their learning schedule is to suit their own requirements improves the chances of success. Second, online education provides unparalleled accessibility. There are no longer any geographical restrictions. The same top-notch resources are available to all students in small towns as those who in large cities. Additionally, online learning is frequently less expensive because institutions don't have to invest in physical infrastructure. Costs are affordable, allowing students from a wide range of socioeconomic backgrounds to access their education. Lastly, self-discipline and independence fostered by online learning. Students are encouraged to take control on their own learning with a traditional classroom structure. For example, they can learn by their own ways. This develops important ability of self-motivation and time management, also responsibility skills that are critically in today's tech-driven.
Okay, Olivia, that is past time. Thank you for sharing your speech. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. I should have stopped it before, but thank you for sharing. Great speech. Okay, on the negative side, first speaker on the con. Can you please start your speech?
Oh, hello. Now, I'm going to have a debate for 1 minute.
Yes, so present your main arguments for the con in 1 minute.
Okay, so should I open the camera? Or
Oh, it's up to you. It's completely up to you.
okay, so I think that the there are lots of benefits of online learning, and so I'm going to say some reasons. First, we are living in a modern world, so we have lots of different types of devices like the smartphone, the laptop, so that we can learn online easier than before. And second, we don't have to travel far, especially
Wait, sorry. Excuse me. I don't want to bring. Are you on the negative side or on the AF side? You're on the AF with Olivia, right?
what? Well, can you say again?
It's on
You're
negative.
with Olivia. I think it's 0.
So, oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
No worries at all. It's okay. You will speak after her. Okay,
So,
0, you
Wait a
can
minute.
present.
I thought I was with Olivia.
Who's on the negative side then, other than Min?
I remember specifically that Sierra was on the aft side. Yeah.
And Days, are you? I think you're on the wrong side.
I think that Days is on my side. You did say that.
Days, can you present your con speech? Do you have a neg speech for the con? Can you argue against the AF?
can I ask who is the next debater?
It's supposed to be you, but for the neg side.
So,
Can you argue the other side? Can you argue against the motion?
wait.
Me or the negative?
No, Olivia, you're on the AF.
Yes.
Yes. You're with 0. Okay, Days. Can you present the neg?
The negative.
Okay, you know what? Maybe Minle, can you present the neg?
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
You will be first and second speaker for the neg then.
So both first and second.
Yeah.
All right. Can I have like
Wait.
1 minute because I prepared
Sure.
for like, the second speaker. Only 1 minute, and I'll be speaking.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm ready.
Okay, great. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1, go. The first thing I'm going to do is going to give you a better mechanism when what they give you. First, then the in-person classrooms give immediate feedback, eye contact, and instruction schedules. Another thing that online learning can give that. Number 2, then that those online deliveries and online learning will remove those cues and put all of the self-discipline on the student who now competes with open browser tabs, phones, and all of the noises that they claim is so good. Impact then. The first thing, we think that the U.S. Department of Education in 2022 finds that full-time K-12 learning students scoring about 0.5 standard deviations lower in math and reading after controls means that they're so distracted from the learning that they cannot even give you any better inequality and any better education that we can give you on our side of the house. Second thing then, that the test data from COVID period shows that there are so many cohorts that lost nearly 5 months of math in one single year, meaning that they're not only losing their information that they're kind of learning, but they're also losing the skills that they need to even control themselves. Second conception then about inequality, we think that there are so many students without a computer or any reliable weapon, and that is actually the prerequisite for even having an online education, means that we think that we easily win this debate. I think you're muted. I think you muted.
You muted?
Okay, my bad. 1 minute crossfire between Min and Olivia. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
If you don't have any questions, I'll take the first question.
Wait, I have a question for you.
Okay, sure.
You argue that online learning lacks face-to-face interaction, but isn't it true that modern online platforms offer tools like video conferencing, discussion forums, and real-time feedback, which can create a collaborative and interactive learning environment?
You think that even if it is kind of interactive, you never even remove the barrier of the students being distracted because you never gave a framing on how this actually looks like, meaning that you're assuming that they are going to be teaching through computers and laptops, means that they will have so many more distractions. I gave in my speech that you cannot haven't given a question for. My question for you then, so do all low income students have both right now, both computers, laptops necessary for your learning?
Sorry again.
My question is that all low income students can have the education you think you can offer?
Oh yes, we can have laptops and computer in the low price, but it cannot restrict access to internet. And other platform now integrate breakout rooms with chat and collaborators interaction.
That is
remote.
fine. It's 1 minute 22 seconds. Sorry to cut in, guys. We just want to stick by the time. Great job so far. Okay, are you guys ready for rebuttals now?
Maybe me.
So I believe it's 0.
Yeah.
Yes, 0.
Wait, can I just have like a few seconds to do my speech together again?
Sure. You want 30 seconds prep?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So
Okay. Speech will start in 3, 2, 1. Esteemed judges and members of the wait. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Esteemed judges, we proudly stand in affirmation of the resolution that the benefits of online learning overwhelmingly outweigh the drawbacks. The negative side will attempt to anchor us to an outdated, constrained model. But the reality is that online learning represents and presents a fundamental education. Our central argument is founded on access. For students in rural areas, individuals with disabilities, working professions, or those with family obligations, online platforms transforms inaccessible knowledge into an opportunity. The benefit is not just learning, it's empowerment, and it opens the classroom to millions who were previously shut down by on-site schools. We also gain crucial efficiency. Online learning dramatically reduces the financial burden on students, eliminating costs for transportation, housing, and printed materials. And when the negative talks about drawbacks, they ignore this massive cost-benefit analysis. We achieve comparable high-quality outcomes for just a fraction of the investment in the laptop. In conclusion, while the drawbacks are manageable and often technical, the benefits of equity, affordability, and personalized learning path are revolutionary. Online learning is not just a substitute, it is the future. We urge you to vote affirmative. Thank you.
great job. Great speech. Woo! These are great speeches. Sorry, I have to cut in. 1 minute is really short, but we don't have the time for more than that. Great speech, guys. Okay. 1 minute on the neg. Min, are you ready?
Yes. I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Go. We told you already from our first speech that the prerequisite for even having this online class is to actually have a computer, and we asked it in the crossfire about how low-income families can actually afford this, and the policy first step will exclude this entire step, meaning that they cannot have any access if they didn't even give you any policies on how we're going to answer my question. Second thing then, and why academics are not going to be equal or even not going to be better. In person, a teacher can see and correct the people, right? Online, it's only going to show faces, and even nothing if it is off. And immediate feedback and group work is nearly impossible if they're only thought of by screen latency and stuff, and they never even gave you a policy on why they can solve the problem of being so distracted with their computers, given the data that we gave you in already the crossfire again. Number 3 then, and why they will not have lower costs. There'll be so many hidden costs, e.g. districts will still pay for buildings, long-term leases, and upkeep, yet now they must buy devices and software, licenses, IT staff, and so much more in services, and you're going to double pay more, and you're not going to saving. You never even considered the economic cost of this entire motion, therefore we obviously win this debate.
Great, right on time. Great speech, Min. Olivia, it's your turn. Are you ready for your summary?
I thought there was a crossfire.
Oh yeah, sorry, crossfire.
Crossfire is done. Now we go to rebuttal. Crossfire is done by me and another.
Yeah, it's been crossfire for everyone.
And now
One
is for what? 1 minute.
1 minute cross.
For rebuttal?
No, crossfire, like questions.
Okay. So there's my question that other drawbacks punishments are mostly solvable with better technology. That's my question.
We think that the current traditional mechanisms right now are so good, and I don't think that if you just keep talking about renovate stuff. I don't think it will change anything if you haven't solved the policy of students being distracted and them using procrastination as their excuse for using this. I don't think you've given any policies on our side of the house on why you're going to solve this problem. Moving on to my question then. You said that the benefits outweigh, right? So exactly what metric are you using to outweigh?
Oh, I need to charge my computer. Can you repeat your question again?
You said that the benefits outweigh, then what exact metrics are you using to outweigh?
My grade is maybe math video, and that's my answer. I think that you mean
Okay, that is time. You can continue your answer in your speech, if that's
Yeah.
okay. You have 1 minute for your summary.
I think that quality variation exists in both online and in-person formats, but the question is about overall benefit of outweighing drawback, not perfection. And quality improves every year, but access and personalization remain main advantages. Is it okay?
Olivia, you have 1 minute. Yep, continue.
Is it okay for you, Ming? Is that answer okay for you, Ringlet?
Olivia, you're speaking the summary speech.
Okay. Now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that your summary speech? Okay, you can start now.
For increased accessibility, the largest effort is online education gives students who have not accessed it before more opportunities. Millions of students have been educated and they have not outnumbered from extend customization. They made no objections to retention or pacing, the special advantage that online formats provides. Despite future skill, modern jobs requiring literacy and degree of the technological integration is still great for in-person instruction. These are long-lasting, pervasive, and structural benefits. The harms are solvable, generationable, and depends on technology. Benefits therefore obviously exceed disadvantages. Done.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Minle, are you ready for summary?
Yes, I'll start. Start in 3, 2, 1, go. I've never answered the question. I mean, our evidence about the U.S. K-12 students and the reliable broadband during the COVID. If millions of people cannot even access the platform, then their benefits will never reach them, right? They don't even give you any prerequisite issues. It is alone sufficient to negate. Second thing, then, we think that Will Grader gave you so many more contentions on why you should actually do this, right? Dude, so many evidences on why you cannot even have any magnitudes if you cannot give the proper education. Our evidence on having the fact that you cannot have a better education with math, the grades are dropping so much, they never even gave you any responses thing, right? Extending under free impact on A, learning loss, online removes your real feedback and peer pressure, right? There's so many, okay, yeah. B, then the equity gap. If there are high income families that buy tutors and buy bandwidth, then the low families will never even have a single phone. They cannot even have this education, and they just keep claiming that doesn't even exist. See that on mental harm. There's gonna be so much more isolation if you keep keeping them into one single room looking at a computer. You don't even have real skills, outlive skills. You don't even look at people in their faces, and you don't have. Oh, so sorry.
Okay, great speech. 1 minute crossfire. Are you guys ready? 3, 2, 1.
If there are no questions, gonna have the first question.
Also, Siro, you can speak this time. Everyone can speak in the round.
Oh, okay. My question is that would you concede that if it benefits mainly to self-motivated and equipped students already, and does that magnify equality?
I would say it does.
Can you explain on that?
So like the the initial cost is that they would have to, say, purchase a device or somewhere to connect to the internet. But wouldn't that still make our case stand, as the money that they pay for that device wouldn't technically, like, they would lose the money for paying with the device, but they wouldn't have to pay fees for, say, other like travels or
I
stuff?
think you're asking yourself. My question was about when you can see that if the benefits will mainly accrue to already equipped students, so you're knifing yourself by accepting that. Because my question is,
Can I answer you, Mila?
yes.
Motivation depends on content quality and teacher skill, not the building. And online platforms integrate gamification, tech points, and adaptive learning that increase engagement. And again, benefits go globally. Engagement complements case by case flaws.
Olivia, it's time. Great job, guys. One last speech by the pro first. Are you ready? So, Zero, you have 1 minute on the clock.
For the final focus, yes.
Yes. Whenever you're ready.
Can I have a second, please?
Take your time.
Okay. Speech will start in 3, 2, 1. The negative team wants you to believe that education is only valuable if it is delivered their way in a physical classroom. This is an argument that ignores the reality for Minions. We can see that self-discipline is required online, but that's not a drawback, it's a necessary life skill. And the negative argument is a fundamental false choice. They put access against engagement, but access is the required for all engagement and benefits. The negative drawbacks, isolation, distraction, only affect those who can attend school. Our benefits, like affordability and flexibility, are the only way for working parents, rural students, and low-income families to get an education at all. We're not talking about a marginally worse method. We're choosing a more equitable system. An education obtained online, even with fewer social hours, is superior to no education at all. And the benefit of lifting millions out of poverty and expanding global education opportunity fundamentally and permanently outweighs the drawbacks of a slightly less social learning experience, we affirm.
Yay! Great speech. Okay, right on time. So Min, you're the last speaker. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I'll start in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to summarize this case in one single sentence, and access is so really important. 3 problems then, panel. Number 1, access. We gave you evidence that they never even acknowledged. Number 2, on academic outcomes, we gave you evidence that the CCCR study, there are so much more students that have passed their rate, and there's persistent deficit from having their computer in front of their face. Number 3, on equality and equity and economic impact, the people that they're only serving, which is people with money, they're well-educated students, it is a minority. They cannot give access to people who don't even have computer, e.g. in Nigeria, in Maya, and so much more places for the integrity. There have been so many violations, up to 194% from ICI 2022, and they're in proctored online exams. You cannot even have any degrees. They never even gave you a policy on how they will guarantee that there won't be those problems, and when the market will discount these nominal savings, and they will turn to an opportunity cost losses when you think that you have a good student, but then you waste your money on trying to give a computer their grades when you're not even giving the students their actual learning percentage.
Okay, great. Great round, guys. I was really impressed. I think there are lots of great debaters in this round. And really kudos to everyone who volunteered in front of everybody this late at night. So great job. It was really impressive. Do we have any feedback, or do we have a side we think should win, or just any? Okay. So let's focus first on feedback. So what I saw was really impressed. So for Min, Ciro, and Olivia, I think you guys were able to successfully respond to each other's arguments. It was really clear under the time constraints. I really liked how in the end you told the judge this is what the debate boiled down to. You addressed the key clashes, you addressed what the opponents failed to refute, and you addressed how you specifically win those arguments. Sometimes in the crossfire you asked really relevant questions, but sometimes it wasn't. Olivia, I think like a few times I couldn't understand too much, but I completely understand. But overall, I was really impressed. And then, does anyone have anything else to say? For feedback, I would say if you're under a really short time frame, you could also use this technique for your final focus for structuring your arguments. So you weigh your impacts. So you weigh using time frame, magnitude, or scope. Or you could also present the key clashes like Min did. And then one key response for your opponent's main argument and rhetorics. So those are some ways you can also structure a final focus. But overall, I was very impressed. Yeah, considering you had very little time to prep and then you had to debate on the spot, it was really impressive. Great job, guys. One more round of applause. Does anyone have anything else to say? Also, please keep the chats respectful and appropriate. I know that you're very excited and you want to form bonds with each other, which I completely understand. But please remember, this is a classroom environment. This is a classroom setting. We're here to learn. We're here to learn from each other and provide constructive feedback. Okay, so I think that's a great note to end our debate. Have a great night and see you guys soon.
Hey, I want to make friends with you on social media. So, do you use Facebook or have your phone number?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure, I don't mind that. It's just, maybe, wait, can you give me your social media platform, and then we can connect that way? I think that would be more appropriate, considering
Yes. Do you use Facebook?
I don't use Facebook as much, but I do have an account. I also have Instagram, if you also.
Instagram.
Yes.
So I have an Instagram account, but I deleted this app before. So I will download this app, and so what's the nickname of your Instagram?
I think if I tell you, I will tell everyone. I don't really want everyone to access it. I have a private Instagram account, but if you want, I can give you my Facebook.
Yes, Facebook.
Yeah, because I don't want you to re-download an app just for. It's just my name. So my name is Apling Jibangwen, and you can just type that on Facebook.
So yes, I want to make friends with you on Facebook.
Okay, for the rest of you guys are dismissed. Have a great night.
You can search for my Facebook. The nickname of my space Facebook is the same as the nickname of this Google Meet.
Okay, great. Thank you. I see it. I just added you. Is your name Sunny?
Yes, Sunny is my English name.
Okay, great. Nice to meet you, Sunny. Okay, have a great night, everyone.
Bye, Josh.
Good night and thanks for your meeting today. It sounds great and it was really glad to talk with you.
Yes, very nice to meet you. I'm so happy that you came. I'm very happy that you attended, and I hope that you were able to learn from this experience. Goodbye, everyone.